Okay guys, we're going to carry on here. Sorry for a second video, but I need to try and keep it within the allotted amount of time for each of these videos. Okay, here's something I want you to try. We've got the absolute value of -6 plus 8. All right, -6 plus 8 absolute value. What's that going to come to? All right, looking at the 8 minus 6. That's going to come up to 2. That would just be 2, right? The absolute value of 2 is then going to be 2. Easy peasy. All right. How about if I have the absolute value of 4 squared minus 6 squared? All right. Stop the video for a second and work that out. I'm going to assume you stopped the video. 4 squared is 16 minus 36. So this is going to come out to be a -20, but I'm looking at the absolute value of that, so that's going to equal positive 20. All right? Here's another one I want you to do. Absolute value, -2 times -4. Go ahead and press pause and work that out. Okay? -2 times -4 is positive 8. The absolute value of positive 8 is 8. Again, those positive ones are super easy. All right, here's another one for you. Absolute value, -8, -4, absolute value, minus 8y equals 32 divided by the absolute value of -8. All right, go ahead and solve that for me. Press pause on the video. Okay, coming back here, I've got this -8 and the -4 is going to come up to a -12, right? And that's the absolute value of -12. So it's actually going to be a positive 12 minus 8y equals, this right here is 8 divided by the absolute value of 8, which is positive 8. So that's going to wind up being just 4. All right, so now I have 12 minus 8, y equals 4. I would like my y to be positive, so let's move this 8y over to this side. I'm going to add 8y to both sides. Over here, -8, positive 8 comes up to 0, so I have that 12 equals 4 plus 8y. Let's move this 4 to the other side. All right, I'm going to get that 8 equals 8y. Divide both sides by 8, and I get that y equals 1. Okay? All right, let's think about something else. Here's a little problem that kind of demonstrates really the idea of absolute value just dealing with distance, not direction. If I've got my friend Joey, all right, and he walks 3 blocks headed to school, towards school, and when he gets there, when he goes 3 blocks, he realizes he left his lunch at home. Okay, lunch is at home. So he turns around and he's going to go home. All right, then he gets his lunch and he's now going to walk 5 blocks to school. All right, so let me ask you, how far does he walk? Go ahead and pause the video for me and think about how far he walks. Okay, if we had Joey here at home, we would have looked at the idea that he went 3 blocks, right? And then he comes back 3 blocks back to home. Then he sets off again and he goes a full 5 blocks to school. All right, so there's the idea that he went 3 blocks plus another 3 blocks is 6 blocks plus another 5 blocks is going to be a total of 11 blocks. All right, and notice the fact that I'm not considering the direction that he went in at all. If this was not an absolute value idea, if I was looking at a number line and I was thinking about the direction that he goes in, okay, here's 3, here's 5. I would have the idea that he sets off and he goes 3, okay, positive 3. Then he turns around and goes back a -3. Then he starts out again and he goes forward a +5. Okay, so that he ended right there. So I would wind up overall him only progressing 5 from 0 to 5. But that's taking into account direction, all right? And that does not account for how far he walked total. It winds up going, how far from home did he end up in the end? In the end, he wound up 5 blocks from home. But overall, he walked 11 blocks. 3 in, 3, 3 out, 3 in, and then 5 out. Okay? Let's look at a couple of problems from your honors lesson and to go ahead and get you started there. What we're looking at in the honors lessons is how to take words and turn those words into a math problem. All right, so let's look at number 1 here. It says a meal and a dessert together cost $21. The dessert cost $11 less than the meal. What was the cost of the dessert? Okay, so let's think about that first thing. A meal and a dessert together cost $11. Meal plus dessert equals not 11, $21. All right, so meal plus dessert equals $21, right? And then this other one says that the dessert cost $11 less than the meal. So dessert equals $11 less than the meal. That's written a little backwards of what we would think. We would think about the fact that then there's the meal minus, not equals, minus $11. So the dessert equals the meal minus $11. All right, so between these two equations, I've got two equations here that I can use to solve for the cost of the meal and the cost of the dessert. Okay, think about if I had an equation and it said 3x equals 24. And we said that x equals 8, all right? You would just plug that in right there. And so that you would say 3 times 8 equals 24, right? Okay, well here I've got that d equals m minus 11. And over here I have a d. So I can take this d and just plug it in. M plus m minus 11 equals 21. I'm going to combine my two m's, get that 2m minus 11 equals 21. All right? And then I'm going to add my 11 to both sides. 2m equals 32. M equals 16. Good? All right, let's do one more. I'm going to start it. I'd love for you guys to pause the video and take a moment and try to solve it on your own. This is also going to be from 18H or G. And we're going to do number 3. It says Isaac has X dollars and Ethan has X minus $200. When Isaac and Ethan added their money, they had $300 in all. How many dollars does Isaac have? If you want to pause the video, you can try to think about how would you write those equations out. Okay, so let's think about here. It says that Isaac has X dollars. So I could say that Isaac equals X. All right, Ethan has X minus 200. So I can say that Ethan equals X minus 200. And then it says when Isaac and Ethan add their money, they have $300 in all. So Isaac plus Ethan equals 300. Okay, given those equations right there, can you pause the video and go ahead and solve it? Do that. Pause the video and you solve it. Okay, I'm going to assume that you paused it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug these amounts in here. I'm going to plug this in right here. I'm going to plug this in over there. So I'm going to get that X plus X minus 200 equals 300. So 2X minus 200 equals 300. I'm going to add 200 to both sides. I'm going to get that 2X equals 500 and that X equals 250. So I'm going to remember up here that Isaac equals X. So Isaac has $250. Good. I think that is what you guys need in order to go ahead and go from here and finish up the honors lessons. Remember to study for your test as well. Your test will be next week, not this week. We're doing 15, 16, 17, and 18. You're already doing 18 this week. Focus on those B and C sheets from these lessons and just do however much you need to do, okay? I hope you guys have a great week. If you have anything that you wind up with questions with, feel free to give me a holler, okay? Take care.